Hello folks, raise your God-loving or godless goblet, trademark, and drink with me as we consider the latest edition of From the Hip, featuring Excelsior. Now, as you know folks, recently we've had quite a disagreement going on about the upcoming ban in Russia. And both sides have been passionate in their arguments. I think both sides genuinely hold their beliefs in their hearts. And yet, unfortunately, there has been disagreement and dispute, and resulting to ad hominem attacks. So let's just go over what's been happening in Russia, because I'm not sure that everybody understands. Currently, as we speak, the certain books of the Watchtower Society have been banned in Russia. The website has been taken down, and the New World Translation has been banned as well. And the latest action taken would be seizing the property of the Watchtower Society in Russia. So they've already had most of the powerful tools that they use to mislead people taken away from them. And people have been leaving even though they have been under ban. Because part of the defence, or rather part of the evidence from the state in Russia was given by former Jehovah's Witnesses. So people have obviously been able to leave whilst under ban, or partial ban, as they have been. Now, I fully accept the argument that banning things is not the ultimate solution, that it's not the best solution. I accept that. I accept that some Jehovah's Witnesses' beliefs will be strengthened by a ban. That is also true. I also understand the concept of the human right to hold a belief. Accepted. None of these things, in my opinion, should end proceeding with this ban. That's my point of view. That is how I feel. Now notice that I'm not telling any of you that this is how you must think or feel about this issue. You are absolutely entitled to disagree with me. That's fine. No problem. That is how the world is. We don't all agree about everything. People will have different points of view, different emphasis on different things when they're making a decision. And so when I see a flowchart distributed where if you're against the ban everything's fine, if you're for the ban and then you don't want people to go to jail, you're against the ban, and if you're for the ban and you don't mind people going to jail, then you need to seek professional help. Let's just examine that one instance right there. I'm sure many of you have seen that flowchart and you will agree that is how it is laid out. I think I'm giving it a fair description here. If I'm not, then please put me right in the comments. Do you think, those who are against the ban, that this is a reasonable and ethical way to discuss this issue? Do you really think that calling into question the intellectual capacity and mental stability of someone is a worthy way to put forward your argument? If your answer is yes, then sadly, that's what the Watchtower do. And that needs to be examined. If your answer is no, that is unacceptable, then what do we do about that? What do we do? How do we respond to something like that? Now that's entirely down to you folks. What you do, what you don't do. That's down to you. You will decide in your moral framework, in your mind, what you think is the right thing to do about something like that. My response was to make this video and talk about that. I think that is appalling. That is the sort of reasoning that I expect from the Jehovah's Witnesses. I do not expect that kind of flowchart to be distributed and asked to be shared by someone who is an activist against a high control group. That is unacceptable. Whoever sent that out, really, I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that the XJW community is willing to accept that kind of reasoning, because we've emerged from something exactly the same, and we don't want that kind of reasoning anymore. You will find that many people, in fact most people, who are either for or against the ban, who either view the Jehovah's Witnesses as an extremist organisation or don't, can get along absolutely fine. We can agree to disagree. We can respect the fact that other people have different ways of thinking and feeling about things. And that is how we should be. That is how a healthy society works, is where people are able to appreciate the fact that not everyone will agree, not everyone will make the same choices and decisions about things. And that's where debate comes in. When people have different opinions about what should be done, the healthy way to see what the best way to go forward is to debate it, is to have people say, I am against the ban because of certain things, and present their case. And then there's an opportunity for the people who are for the ban to present their case. And then people can make their own decision. And we must respect it, even if it is a different decision to the one that we make. That's how healthy societies work. That's how healthy relationships work. We were inside a cult. We were not allowed to have different points of view. And further than that, there was a correct way of thinking, and there was an incorrect way of thinking. There were correct decisions and incorrect decisions. And there was always only one correct decision. That's not how people are. That's not how society is. And we don't need to have that kind of reasoning anymore. It's unhealthy. It stifles debate. And it proceeds then to upset people and cause offence. And instead of being able to unite as a group and appreciate our differences and move forward, We have to waste valuable time talking about this nonsense. I do not mind people disagreeing with me. I welcome it. It shows that we have a healthy society. I will respect people's views. I may not agree with them, but I will respect them. And if they're really thoroughly lacking in any ability to respect them, I will politely say why. But here are the key words: politeness, courtesy, diplomacy. These skills, these concepts really help. Remember, we've all been damaged by the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's why we're here. That's probably why you're listening to this ramble right now, is you've been harmed by the Jehovah's Witnesses. The last thing you need, the last thing I need, is for someone to come along and say, right, I'm an expert, I know exactly the best way of doing everything, and if you don't do it my way, then there's something wrong with you. You're deficient in some way. You're regressive. You're aggressive. I've got a piece of paper here that says that's wrong. And because this piece of paper says it's wrong, or because a cult expert says it's wrong, or because whatever says it's wrong, it must be absolutely right because there's no one else out there who's disagreeing. Or maybe there are. Maybe there is room for a different point of view. And if there isn't, if it is something of such fundamental truth that it is impossible to hold the alternative or opposite view, then why descend into using flowcharts that imply that someone who disagrees needs to seek professional help? They might have some mental health issues, they might have some education deficiencies, there's something wrong going on there. They can't be sincerely thinking a different way. They can't be perfectly intelligent people who've just come to a different point of view. That's impossible. They must need professional help. I'm calling that out as bogus, as wrong, and as bullying. I'm calling it out. That's what that was. There's a long history of Mr. John Cedars causing great offence to a great many people. Mr. Cedars, I ask you politely and kindly, and in full recognition of the good work you've done before, please don't be like this. Please, come on. You're an intelligent, capable man. You've done lots of good work. Many people, including myself, am grateful for the stuff you've done in the past. You've done great videos, you've written great articles, your website was really good. It's helped a lot of people. You don't need to be putting out things like this. And if it wasn't you, I apologise. But whoever put that out, it needs to stop. It doesn't work. It just causes offence. We've got a cult out there that has a two-witness rule that they're not willing to change. That is extreme. People can disagree with me, and I should agree to disagree agreeably. So finally here, a word of advice to all of us, including myself. I'm not excluding myself from this. Adults apologise, and adults accept apologies. We can all make mistakes, we can all get things wrong. So let's be careful. So I'm going to leave it here and say, peace be with you, Excelsior!